Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with Me, and welcome to From Junk to Journal series. And I have a lot of things pulled out on my desk. You can't see all of them over here or all of them over here, but we're going to play today. Now, I have not done this before, so I have no idea if it's going to work right, but we're going to try it. Now, I have had quite a few of these sent to me in Happy Mail over the years, and I have just put them back and tried to figure out what I wanted to do with them. The back sides on some of them are not too bad. Like that one's Nova Scotia, Canada. I like that. That one's floral. The ocean. You know, I like some of the backs, but the front is just more than I would put in my journals. So we're going to try to play around with them and make them a little bit more friendly for our journals on this side. We may leave the back side as is, or we might put some writing paper on there. I don't know. I haven't decided on that yet. And then I've got a few of these, not many. I think I only have this little pile right here, and that's it. Again, this is not something that I would just put in my journal plain, but we're going to try to dress it up a little bit. And then I have some, this is just some of that pattern paper, old pattern paper. This, if you remember, is some of the tissue paper. This actually, it's faux tissue paper. This actually was some deli paper that I had, and I just stamped it with my stamps. So then we have a napkin. And then I have, let me see if I can get it out from under my trimmer here. I have some tissue paper that I have saved from when you guys send me packages and they're wrapped up. I save it. Even though it's got holes in it, I save it. That's just the way I am. So, well, I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to start. Let's start with one of these. And I'm going to lay these aside for a minute so I can have a little bit more room on my table. My table is a mess. Now, I want to make this into a side pocket since it's already got this little cut right here. I want to make it into a side pocket. So we can do 2 or 3 different things. Let's see which one I'd rather. I don't mind the numbers showing through. I just don't want them to be bold in your face. So we might use some of that napkin. Okay, and underneath, do we want to put anything underneath? No, I don't think so. Okay. I am going to use my brush, my little brush. Now, I'm going to use my Collage Podge. We cannot get this anymore, and I'm so sad. I love this stuff. I wish we could get it again, but they say the new Mod Podge that we carry now, that they have, it's the same ingredients as this. I have looked, and it shows the same ingredients on the back. So I've still got a little of this, so I'm going to use it up before I change over to the Mod Podge. But you can use your regular glue. You can use a glue stick, whatever you have. I've also got this Dina Wakley gel medium. So you can use that if you've got some gel medium. Use what you've got in your stash. If all you've got is glue, white glue, like school glue, use that. Just pour you some out on a little mat and use that. But I'm going to use this since I have it. I'm going to pour it out on my mat. Now, I've got a heat-resistant mat. This is one of our mats that we sell in the store. It is heat-resistant, so I am going to use it. I'm going to paint this on just like you was painting a wall or something. This is about how I paint a wall, real messy. I'm not a painter. I don't paint well. And then I'm going to take my napkin and just, you know, all of this is, the napkin's about the same everywhere, so I'm not going to worry about trying to choose a part. I'm just going to put it down like that. Now, once you put that down, it's done. Don't try to pull it up because it will absolutely tear it. I'm going to use my little roller. This is, this thing is no telling how old. You can see the rust here. I actually got it out of a garbage can at my sister's house, and it makes the perfect roller for this. You may have one of those fancy little rollers. If you do, you can use it. You can't really use anything that pulls on this because it'll tear your napkin. You just want something that's going to press this down, the napkin down. Don't use your fingers like I just did because it'll tear it. I'm really bad. It's hard for me to keep my hands off of it. But keep your hands off of it if you can. And then you need to clean this off every so often, because if you don't, it'll start tearing it again. It'll stick and tear it up. And then I'm going to put another layer over the top. Now, this Collage Podge is matte. It does not dry with a shiny surface. So I like that. It does not dry tacky. So that's why I'm so sad that we can't get it anymore. I don't know if they've quit making it or if they've just changed the name of it. I'm going to have to check into that. So there is another layer on top. Now what I'm going to do, since I'm so impatient, I'm going to take my little heat tool from Tim Holtz here, and I'm going to heat this. This is a heat resistant mat. If you don't have a heat resistant mat, then don't heat it on your desk because it will mess it up. But the heat will not go through this mat. And we do sell these in the store if you want one. They're also from Tim Holtz, I think. Is there anything that guy doesn't make? And see, the more it dries, the more everything shows through. And I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. You could even put something underneath this, and we may do that in a minute on some of them. But I do not mind those numbers showing through. I just wanted to mute them a little bit. I didn't like that bold in my face black and white there. And when you're feeling of this to see if it's dry, just touch it very easy. It does not hurt it to speed the drying up. Okay. Now, I could probably just tear that off because I did wet it with my with my Collage Podge, but I'm going to cut it. I tend to do a little bit better cutting than I do tearing. Sometimes when I tear, I get overzealous and I tear it too much. Okay, lay that aside. Now I'm going to clean my scissors because I don't want that grabbing that tissue and tearing it. Now the back side, since we're going to make this into a journal card, the back side we'll just put, well, I'll either leave it like it is or I'll put a little bit of writing paper on there. I don't know which. I'll determine that when I start to use it in a journal. We'll go ahead and cut that little corner. Right. And I love the smell of that. I know I'm weird, but I love the smell of that Collage Podge and old paper and things. I love it. Now you could leave it just like it is, but you know me. I don't want to leave it like it is. Now I'm going to wrap my little brush up so it doesn't dry out. This is a trick that many years ago, when we did paint this house in 1988, that's how long ago it's been, a friend of mine that was a painter told me to take paper towels and wet them and wrap your brush up in it. You can even stick them in the freezer overnight, get up the next day, thaw them out, and they're ready to go. You don't have to wash them out every day if you're going to be using them. So that's what I have been doing for years. Now I will probably stitch around mine, but if you don't want to stitch around it, that's fine. Just make sure that your edges are glued down really well. So what are we going to do now? I think I'm going to do a little bit of stamping and then put some labels on here. What do you think about that? Let's just put this little oval. It says received. And I'm going to use, since I have black in the background, I'm going to use the VersaFine black to do this. And I'm going to put a label down before I stamp right there. That way I can stamp partially on the label and partially off the label. Okay, I think I'll just go back to this one. I'm going to use this, some ink. And then I'll put this down with my just regular glue. You could put it down with the same thing, your Collage Podge, if you wanted to. Well, I said I would. My glue needs refilling and it's down to the bottom and it's starting to clog up on me a little bit. Okay, let's put that right there. Now I will tell you, when you glue this down on top, all the stuff on top, make sure you've got it glued where you want it, because you won't be able to get it up much. Okay, stamp that right there. Okay. Now you could keep going and putting all different things on here. Like we could put a little bird there. Not that one because it doesn't show up. But we could put a bird on top. I don't mind that one. These are just some fussy cuts that I have been doing. I thought I had some more birds. Let's see. Nope, not that one. I thought I had a blue one cut out in here. Let's see. Where are you, blue bird? There he is, right there. See what we think about a blue bird. Oh, I kind of like him on there. I think I might put that blue bird on there, but I'm going to put a little bit of something down at the bottom for him to kind of stand on. Let's see what we got. Yeah, I'll put that. Just another label. Oops. I had more glue on my finger than I did on the piece here. Now I'm going to ink his little feet up a little bit because I don't do such a good job when I'm fussy cutting. My hands shake too much to fussy cut. But I enjoy it. It's relaxing sometimes. Okay, he may lose a little bit of his tail because I don't want him all the way over there. And that's going to be okay. He will not mind. He is flying into the scene here. You don't mind, do you, little birdie? Okay. There we go. Little tail. Bye-bye. You'll still be good. And then I'm going to ink all around it. And like I said, I'll probably stitch around this, depending on what journal I put it in. And then, like I said, I don't know if I'll cover all the back, but I may put a little paper on there to write. But you could write all around that. But there is that. I like that. Don't mind the numbers in the background. And I know they're going sideways. But that doesn't bother me either. I don't mind the numbers in the background when I have a little bit of something on top. And when I take pictures of these, if I have stitched around them, I will let you see the stitching. All right, I'm going to wipe a little bit of this ink up so I don't get it on everything. All right, let's try something else. Now, this is just the brown paper from Amazon packages and other packages that we get in here. It's not necessarily all Amazon, but we get a lot of this brown paper. And Brandon saves a lot of it to use in, you know, repackaging things, but a lot of it I get to keep. And then this is just some of that pattern paper. Let's see if we've got any of that. Look at that. It's got, somebody has written the number on there. Okay. Let's try to turn it the other way because that's going to be upside down. Which we don't matter. We don't care. It's going to be upside down. But that's okay. We'll put it that way. Now, this is way too tall for one tag. Of course, I know that, so I'll probably cut it. But first, we're going to put some things in the background. So I'm going to grab maybe some tall flowers, a couple of them. If I can find some tall flowers. I did cut lots of flowers. Why is it I can't find them? Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take these flowers. I'm going to ink a little bit around them just to cover up the areas that I didn't do so well. Which is not really going to show that bad anyway, but it'll help my mind. Okay. Then I have a couple of just vintage big labels here. I'm going to put a little ink on those. Then I'm going to lift this up, and I'm going to make this into 2 separate journal tags, or journals. Make this into 2 separate journaling cards. So I'm going to put 1 flower and 1 tag right there. And then I'll put the other flower and the tag right there. I think. Yeah, I think that'll work. Okay, so I'm going to glue these down first, and I'm going to use my collage podge to glue these down. Now, this paper is very thin, so it will kind of buck up a little bit, but we're going to put something on the back to straighten it out, so don't worry about that. It will bow because it's so thin, but that's not a problem. Just going to go ahead and put some of this all over, then we'll put our tissue paper on top. So this doesn't dry real fast, so you've got time to work with it. Whoops. Like I said, you've got time to work with it. Okay, put that right there. And then we'll put a little bit of, oops, got something on my paintbrush. Then we'll put a little bit of collage podge on top of that. Just so that our pattern paper is going to stick well. You just don't want to have any bubbles in it. So I try to cover all the surfaces. Then we'll take this, I'm going to crumple it. I want it to be wrinkled. Almost forgot to crumple. Okay, put it down there. I don't mind even more wrinkles, so what I'll do is I'll just lay it down just like it is with all those wrinkles in there, like that. Take our little roller and we'll roll that down. Well, I thought I had missed the numbers, but I think I got them on there. Now, if you don't have any kind of roller and all you have is just, well, started to say all you have is, here we go. It's under here somewhere. All you have is one of these. Do it, but do it from this flat side where it's beveled there, and then just rub real lightly. Don't rub hard, and don't use the sharp side. Just rub it lightly like that. You just don't want to tear it. So you can do it with something like this if you want to. Okay, then we're going to put another layer on top. That just helps ensure that everything's stuck down. Ooh, I'm almost out, so I get to change to the Mod Podge here in a little while. Now, I did water mine down a little bit because I've had it for years, and it was pretty thick, so I put a little water in it. I normally don't, but it was, like I said, it was thick, so I did put a little water in it, just to make sure that it wasn't too thick to go on my paper. Okay. Wrap your brush back up again. And then I'm going to dry it just like I dried the other one, because I'm too impatient to wait. And we do have these craft tools, the heat tool in the shop. I like these because they're not loud. They're not as loud as those big ones are. I have a big one, but I very seldom use it because it is very loud. Oh my goodness, I love that smell. I don't know if that's good or bad that I like that smell. But see, it dries pretty fast. And usually I flip it over and just give the back a little bit of heat too. That will make it start curling big time, but it's because you're drying that back part. And then when you flip it back over to the front, you can flatten it back out with your heat. Okay, it is mostly dry, mostly dry. I'm going to take my ink, but all these little wrinkles that are in here, I would like to have a little bit darker. So I'm going to take my ink and just kind of go around the edges, pick up those wrinkles, give them a little bit of color. Not a lot, I just want a little bit. And I don't really want any color over the flowers, so I'm kind of skipping over those. So I want those to show through. There we go, that's enough. See, it just gives it a little bit extra. And if you feel like you got a little bit too much in one spot, just wipe it off. Just wipe it off. Now when it dries, it'll be there, but until it dries, you can just wipe it off. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of stamping again, and then we'll cut these apart. I'm going to use my VersaFine black. Then I think I'll use this butterfly maybe. Let's see. Is it going to look all right? I think so. I think on the butterfly, I'm going to use the sepia instead of black. I don't want it quite as dark. Yeah. I mean, you may not can see it. I can, but I like it. Okay. There we go with that. All right, let's cut them out, and then we'll see if there's anything else that we want to do to them. So I think I'm just going to cut it right down the middle there. And we'll see if we can get it up under here. They don't have to be the same size. I'm not worried about that. Okay, and then in order to make these stiffer, we will glue them on another piece of cardstock or something. So right now I'm going to trim off the backing. Well, trim off that paper, not the backing. Okay. Now, I will tell you, when you stamp these things on here, it takes them a little while to dry because you've got that layer of collage podge on the top. So just be mindful of that. I think I'm going to cut these, try to square these up. They're not very squared right now. We'll try to square them up, and then we're going to put some paper on the back. there. Yeah, they're not very straight, but we're going to make them straight-ish. While I'm sticking my fingers in all the glue. While I am sticking my fingers in all of the stamps. But that's okay. We don't mind. Okay. So that one is squared up. Let's square this one up. Those are squared up, and now what we're going to do is, I think I'm going to choose some book page to put behind these and then put them on a card. I want a little bit of light texture behind that. Or light color, I should say. See if I can find the right color book page. Yeah, that one will work. This is some 1859, and I am about out of this, and I'm very sad. I want more. Okay, now I'll get some of the print on top and bottom, but then on the sides I won't. And I think that's okay. I still feel like that's a little bit crooked. Hold on. Okay, maybe that's better. Yeah, that looks a little better. So I'm going to glue this down to this, and for this I think I'm just going to use my art glitter glue. If it will work. I know it's saying fill me up. Now work, fill me. Okay. Now we'll trim this off, and use your trimmer, Edith. Use your trimmer. I want to cut it with my scissors so bad. I want to hoard this paper, but I'm using it since I don't have any more. Oh, that's pretty at the top. I don't know. I'm going to cut just a little bit of that top off, but not much. It's very pretty. And then the same on this side. I love that natural aging. Okay, so we've got that. And now what we're going to do is take one of these that I save, all of these backings. You know I save all of those. We're going to take one of those. I'm going to ink around this first, real carefully. Then we're going to glue this down to this, and that will be our backing. And it'll make it good and solid for a nice journal card or tag or whatever you want to use it for. And I think on this, I'm going to use my glue stick because this paper's not very thick. Now, if you don't want to get messy, this may not be the job for you because you do get a little bit messy. But I don't mind it because I know it'll wash off. Okay. And now we'll trim this. And hopefully it'll be straight-ish. There's always a little crooked in my life, so that's okay. Save that one. That'll make a little tag. Then I'm just going to go around it one more time, I think. I may even round the corners just to give it a little bit extra. I think that is super cute. We will cover the back in some writing paper. And that would be ready to go. But, you know me, I'm going to have to put a label or something on there. I have to put a label on the top. So I'm going to grab some labels and see what we've got. I've got to sort all this out into my ephemera books. I've got this everywhere that I've been fussy cutting. But when there's nothing on TV and you're just sitting there and nobody to talk to, fussy cutting is kind of keeps me occupied. Even though after a while my eyes go kind of crooked. I thought I had some small ones. There's one. We could put that there. Oh, we could put that one. You know what? I may put a stamp up there and then just stamp it. Stamp the stamp. Might put that there. All right, let me get a postage stamp. I think I've got some of those somewhere here. Of course I do. I've got a million of them. And I think I've got some that would look... Oh. That might look good with that. Oh, I kind of like that. Now let me get my stamp where I can stamp over that. It's a cancellation stamp. I have ordered a ton of these pouches, and they will go up in the shop probably next week. I found a dealer that I could get them from for not too expensive. They're a little bit more expensive than what I wanted to pay, but I still will be able to give them to you guys for not too expensive. And I love them for all kinds. I use them for everything. I use them for when I'm making a journal and I've got, you know, pieces and parts. I use it for that. I use it for little ephemera pieces. I use them for everything. It's just, they're just good to use. Keep things organized a little bit. Okay, put that one there. This mat is also a non-stick craft mat. So you can just take it, wash it right up when you finish. If I can get that label off of my finger. Okay, we got that there. And then we're just going to take this stamp. And we'll just do a little bit of canceling. Even though it's already canceled a little. We're going to cancel a little bit more. There we go. And I don't mind that it stamped halfway. You know, when you go to the post office and you get your mail or something, it's, you know, they've got stamps in every which direction. So that doesn't bother me. So there's another one. I love that. Love it. So you guys want to do another of it? Maybe using tissue paper. I know a lot of you probably got tissue paper. And I will do that one the same way. I'm just going to lay it aside since we've already got it kind of put together. We'll do one with some tissue paper. Let me try to get to my tissue paper. Let's see. I may want to put my tissue paper on something else instead of putting it on the brown paper, because I'd like to have the the flowers show. Okay, let's use this envelope. And this is just an envelope I had in my stash. We're going to use an envelope this time. This is not a junk envelope, but you could also use a junk mail envelope if you wanted to. Oh, don't tell me I'm out. Come on, you can do it. One more. Just a little. Oh, a big clob come out. Clob. Don't use that glob. That is where the tops settle. So don't use that glob. It's just like paint. It seals over when you don't use it for a while to save itself. And that's what that glob of yuck is there. I just get all the goodie out of it and then I throw that away. All right. My hands are extra brown, so my envelope is going to be brown probably. Now, I'm going to put something down on this envelope before we put that on there. And you say, why? That's got flowers on it. Well, because I want to. I'm going to put that down there, and I'm not worried about it not being inked. I think I'll be okay. Put that down there. You can ink it if you want. Right now, I'm just going to put it down like it is. Since I've got that white background, I think it'll be okay. Okay, that's okay. And then, do we want a little something up here? I'd like to have a little tiny bird up there, but I don't. Well, I have that one. He could be sitting on there, couldn't he? Oh, he's stuck. Let's just do it. Why not? He's sitting on our flower. I love doing this kind of stuff. I don't mind getting messy. Okay, now, I think this tissue paper actually come from Hello Susan. Hello, Susan. Now, I'm not going to wrinkle this. You could. I'm not going to try to get the wrinkles out of it, but I'm not going to wrinkle it up. But you could, and it would look really good. Now, we're going to take... Yeah, I don't throw any of your tissue paper away or your stamps. Anything that I get from you guys, basically, I have in my stash. Some of it I use and some of it I hoard. But all of Susan's tissue paper I have got over there. I try to open it very carefully. A lot of times I do tear it. But, because she puts a lot of tape on it. Okay, now I'm going to see. I'm going to wipe the glue off of this. You don't want this to have any dried glue on it. Because if it does, it's just going to pull that up. It's going to tear. So just kind of keep it wiped off with a baby wipe or something. Okay. All right, I'm not going to press it down anymore. I can see it's trying to lift. I'm going to go ahead and dry this. Now, I've not done this before. This is my first time, but you know what? I'm not a bit afraid to try anything. Don't be afraid to try something. I have so many people that say, oh, I want to do a journal so bad and I've got all this stuff, but I'm scared to start. Don't be afraid. Just jump in there and do it. What's the worst that can happen? You make a mess up, then you just fix it and go on. I make lots of messes, but I just fix them and go on. And if it can't be fixed, then it goes in the garbage. It's just paper. But just start. You'll be surprised how good you will do. I promise you. And everybody has to start somewhere. Nobody is good at what they do when they first begin. I mean, I've been at this 30 years, you know. And I'm still not good. I muddle through, and I love playing around with paper and stuff. I always have. Paper's just my weakness. Okay, I'm going to go over it with a layer. I wanted to dry it a little bit before I went back with the layer because it was trying to lift up a little bit on me. See, I just take that big old glob and I smear it around and get all the good out of it. Because I like that stuff so much, I don't want to waste half an ounce. I don't want to waste any. Okay. There we go. Let's see, it looks like that tissue paper has all kinds of things on it, doesn't it? We'll dry it again. Yeah, I think this tool, and I know some people use their hair dryer. I tried using my hair dryer and it just blows everything all over the place. But I think this tool is one of the best things that Tim Holt invented. I have sold a ton of them. And this is my second one. I burnt my first one up. I used it so much. Because I used to do lots of mixed media. And I absolutely just fried it. Which is hard to do because these are pretty hefty. But I did. I fried it. And so I got this one. My first one was white. And then he come out with the black. So I got this one. So far, I haven't fried it yet. Which they told me they would replace that other one because they were not supposed to burn up like that. But, well, it didn't burn. It just quit working. But I said no. I've used it probably 7 years. So I've got my money's worth out of it. Oh, that feels pretty good. Pretty good. All right. I'm going to wrap my brush up because it's sitting there in that goop. Now we're going to cut this, and I will save every little piece of that because I'll use it. Oh, I hope you didn't just hear my stomach growl. Yes, I've got to go eat again. I know. I have you guys telling me, you better stop and go eat. You better stop and go eat. Now, this probably sealed this envelope up. I don't know. We'll see in a minute. Like I said, this is the first one I've done, so I don't know. But if it did and we can't open it, we'll just leave it. It's not a biggie. If you didn't want it to seal it up, you could open the envelope up and put something on the inside, like a piece of cardstock, that would kind of soak up that excess glue, and then it wouldn't seal it. I didn't think about doing that, so we probably sealed it, and that's okay. Not a biggie. Let's see. Yep, it's sealed. That's okay. I don't mind. But look at that. See, you can see the flower in the background, which matches these flowers. You can see the label. You can see the bird. I like that. But yeah, put you a piece of paper inside the envelope until all of this dries. So what are we going to do to the outside? Let's put another stamp on. I think I want a stamp on there. Oh, I like this one. Yeah, let's do that one. I know it's matchy-matchy, but that's okay. That's what I like. Paris. Okay. Now let's use our little cancellation stamp again. And I think I'm going to use Vintage Sepia on this one. Oh, I like that. Cool, 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 cool. And let's do a little stamp of some kind. I think I'll do this one again. No, I think I want a long one. Put it like up the side. That one in there. Let's use this one. What does it say? It says orders attended to day or night. Oh, maybe I have a stamp block out that's long enough. Yep. I am glad that I got my stamps out and started using them. I love my stamps. I forget about them because they were up top and on a shelf, and I would always forget about them. So I brought them down where I could see them, and now I end up using them more. I'm going to go ahead and round these corners, even though I don't have anything on the back yet. And this is still not completely dry, so if it chops it wrong, it's because I haven't waited for it to dry like it did right there. Okay. Now this wrinkled look may not be what you like. I don't mind it. It doesn't bother me at all. I am going to use a little bit of Vintage Photo and I'm just hitting the high spots. I'm not trying to color it, just hitting where the wrinkles are. That's all. And then we'll go around it. Now, like I said, this is not completely dry. It's going to flatten more when it dries and when I put a backing on there. So, but that's good enough for me. I like that. I do think I need another label right here, though. Just to give it a little bit more on top. Oops. Got that labeled there, so I need one that goes up the other way. Okay, I think I'll wrap that label around. Or cut part of it off. I don't know which. Whoa, come back. This is about empty too. One thing you can say, I do use my glue. Let's see. Just to keep from wasting it, we'll put that right up there. Okay, and when this dries a little bit more, I'll put it on a backing. And I'll probably stitch around it. And there will be another journal card. Alright guys, I think that is it for the video today. I hope you give this a try. It's very, very simple. That's one I made before the video. I told you I had never made one before. I lied. I had made that one right before the video. Didn't mean to lie to you. But I hope you'll give this a try. It's just another way to use some of that tissue paper and things that you've been hoarding and you don't know what to do with. Just grab out some glue. Doesn't have to be what I have. It can be just white school glue. Get your kids' school glue and use it. All right, we will talk to you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.